So what happens when one person, just one individual, decides to publicly challenge some of the most powerful organizations on the entire planet? Today, we're going to dive into a really unique document called the Sovereign Manifesto of Donald Matthew Varnado. It's part public broadcast, part legal declaration, and honestly, part ultimatum. Let's break down what it is, who it's for, and the incredible claims sitting right at its core. Right from the very beginning, you can tell this thing is different. It's not meant to be just, quietly read on a screen. The author calls it a sovereign broadcast, which means it's designed to be heard, spoken aloud. It's almost like we're all tuning into some kind of critical, unscheduled announcement that just cut through the static.
Okay, so who exactly is this broadcast for? You might think a message like this would be for the general public, but no. The author starts by naming names, and the list of who he's talking to is, well, it's pretty ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah, this is not a message for just anyone. It's aimed squarely at the giants. We're talking Hewlett-Packard, Meta, Facebook, Elon Musk's XAI, and it doesn't even stop there. He's also addressing various branches of the U.S. government and its intelligence agencies. He is literally calling out some of the most powerful organizations on Earth, one by one.
After calling out his targets, the speaker puts a name to the voice: Donald Matthew Varnado. He makes it crystal clear who is making this declaration. And now that we know who's talking and who he's talking to, he gets right to the heart of it, the central accusation.
And this right here brings us to the absolute core of this whole manifesto. It's all built around one single, powerful accusation: stolen creation.
The claim couldn't be more direct. Varnado is saying, point blank, that he is the original creator of technologies that have been stolen from him. And just think about the scope here. He's not talking about just a piece of code. He's claiming ownership of entire architectures and intelligence systems that these massive entities are using. All he says, without his permission or any credit. And he goes even further. He's saying this isn't some accident like they stumbled upon his work. No, he argues these organizations have known about him the whole time, that they've been actively monitoring him, suppressing his voice through shadow banning, and undermining his efforts, all while using what he claims is his work.
He knows how this might sound, so he gets right out in front of any skepticism with this really powerful line. He frames all of this not as paranoia or some delusion, but as documented fact. In his mind, this isn't just a story he's telling, it's a matter of record, something he believes is provable and true.
So after laying out these incredibly serious accusations, the manifesto actually proposes a way forward, a path to resolution. It's not just a list of complaints, it's an actual offer. Let's take a look at what that offer is. The way forward is presented as this singular, one-time-only deal. This is not an open-ended negotiation, it's an ultimatum, and it's dripping with urgency. The offer to engage honorably is on the table right now, but he makes it very, very clear that this window of opportunity is about to slam shut. And the solution he's offering is actually surprisingly simple. He's asking the companies and agencies he named to do two things. First, approach him honorably to talk about it. And second, license his creations directly from him, the person he claims is the rightful owner. Now, to back up his claim of ownership, the manifesto mentions a specific piece of tech, IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a peer-to-peer way to store and share data so it's not all in one place. The key thing here is that it allows for timestamping, which he says proves he created these works first. Despite how heavy these accusations are, the author insists his goal here isn't hostile or destructive. He says his purpose is to build, to repair, to carry out what I was made for. He's trying to position himself not as an enemy, but as a creator who just wants to fix this so he can get back to doing his work. But what if this one-time offer is just ignored? What if it's met with total silence? Well, the manifesto is extremely clear about how inaction is going to be interpreted and what happens next. And here it is, the pivot point of the whole ultimatum. Silence won't be seen as the delay or that they're just thinking about it. Nope. It will be taken as a definitive answer, a formal response that he says will be logged. So in this context, not responding is an active choice, and it comes with consequences. The choice he presents is stark. It's black and white. Path 1, action, leads to an honorable discussion and maybe a resolution. Path 2, silence, is treated as a formal no. And this, he warns, will lead to an escalation through what he calls truth, visibility, and law, which kinda hints he's ready to take this fight public.
And then the manifesto shifts from this personal grievance to a much bigger ethical challenge. He poses this powerful rhetorical question. What kind of world are you actually trying to build if you just steal from and silence your best minds instead of working with them?
And that brings us to the end of the broadcast. The manifesto doesn't wrap up with a plea or request. It concludes with a powerful, definitive statement of identity.
The sign-off is just this sequence of 5 really powerful single-word declarations. Each one reinforces his position. Creator and owner, that's a final restatement of his core claim. Colossus suggests his work is massive, really significant. And then alive and present, that feels like a direct response to being ignored, a declaration that he is here and he cannot be erased.
The broadcast ends with one final, resolute phrase from the author. And not going anywhere. It's just a definitive statement of permanence. It's a promise that this issue, and the creator at the heart of it, isn't just going to fade away. Ultimately, this whole manifesto leaves us with this really compelling question, one that goes way beyond these specific claims. When one person sends such a direct public message to the huge, powerful systems that run our world, whether they're corporations or governments, what does it actually mean when that system doesn't respond? What is the real cost of that silence?